Ah, yes, the sound I want to hear. Mr. Chairman, you have all 24 members present. There is a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, the chairman recognizes County Executive, Mr. Randy Ford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to request that the commission waive your rules tonight and add 2 more items to the agenda. I'd like for you to add item 5A, which would be to approve the Project Uno MOU and resolution that you have before you. And item 5B would be to approve a new budget resolution for the schools. These items came up after we had our committee agendas and committee meetings, and these are very important and on a time-sensitive nature, and I ask that you amend your agenda to add these 2 items.
Motion to approve. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Rogers. Oh, okay. Hearing none else, Mr. Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, this takes 2/3 majority to do is the suspending of the rules, so we have to do a roll call. If you take your handsets, if you favor the motion to suspend the rules tonight, would you please vote yes? If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. Just stop right there for me. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Now please press confirm for me, if you would please, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 24 voting yes to suspend, 0 no, 0 absent. That motion does carry. In just a second.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. At this time, I need a motion and a second to add this onto our agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None hearing. Mr. Clerk, if you'll call the roll.
All right, we will.
I have a motion and a second on the floor to add to the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Now let's take 5A. You want to do it first? Is that all right?
Yeah, I'd ask, you have a resolution in front of you that and an MOU, a memorandum of understanding on Project Uno, that both Jeff and I have reviewed, and everybody's in agreement that we all agree that they're good documents, and I ask that you would approve them tonight.
Motion to approve. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None hearing. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion for 5A resolution, please press yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you now please press confirm for me, please. Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. 5A does pass.
Mr. Porter?
Mr. Chairman, we had, once the budget is passed and finalized by the county commission, it has to be sent to the comptroller's office for their approval. We got a call yesterday, I believe, Debbie, from the comptroller's office, and I know this is a little picky, but you did the school budget resolution in a separate resolution from the rest of the budget, and they want it all put together in one resolution. So what I've done is brought you a new resolution and asked that y'all pass it, and the only difference is the numbers are the same, nothing's changed, is that we're combining the 2 resolutions into one resolution. And they asked for that from the comptroller's office, so oblige them.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None hearing. Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you favor that motion, please take your handsets and vote yes, please. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. Stop right there for me. Mr. Ford? All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you please press confirm for me? Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, I have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. 5B passes.
Approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
A motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? None hearing. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Unfinished business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee,
No unfinished business, Mr. Chair.
Physical Review Committee,
No unfinished business, Mr. Chairman.
Nominating Committee,
No unfinished business, Mr. Chairman.
Report of Special Committees. Other unfinished business. Quarterly reports and action thereon by the board. Road Fund, Randy Jones, Supervisor. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh, Commissioner Short.
Debbie, I just wanted to ask how the fund balance was doing since Keith was so tight on his use of fund balance to cover the long-term capital items. And Keith did tell me that he seemed like he felt that the revenue was up from where they had projected slightly, so that's good. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other discussion? If it's all right with everyone, we'll go through all three of these and just vote on them as one. School funds, Jerry Boyd, Director of Schools. County General Fund, Debt Service Fund, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, and Self-Insurance Fund, PNR Fund. Randy Porter, County Exec.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve all three as submitted.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion about the quarterly reports? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business and action thereon by the board. Report of standing committees. Planning Committee,
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item A is recommends approval to accept the transfer of K-9 Daisy May from Overton County to the Putnam County Sheriff Department, and I so move.
have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
Sheriff Ferris, on Daisy, I just want to make everybody clear that, Daisy is a drug sniffing dog, right?
Right, Daisy's a narcotics dog.
Okay. And, he'll be able to, well, I guess it's a female, right? So she'll be able to go to, wherever, schools, vehicle stops, what have you?
Yes, back on, let's see, November the 4th, we traveled to Nashville and did the USPCA test, which is one of the tougher K-9 tests in the country, and Daisy did just fine. So Daisy's up and running and ready to go. She's certified for building schools and vehicles and anything to do with narcotics. She's good to go.
So the money we're paying is well worth it. I mean, I know that generally it's in thousands of dollars, if I recall. Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Commissioner Atwood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One question to you, Sheriff, if I may. I noticed congratulations on the Roethlisberger grant. How will that affect our K-9 unit? Is it going to add another dog to your group?
It certainly will. What that'll do for us is give us 4 narcotics dogs on every, total, which gives us 1 per shift. We're a 12-hour, service as far as our shift work goes at the sheriff's department. 12 hours is what our deputies work. And it's divided up in A, B, C, and D groups. So what that does is give us one, narcotics dog per shift, which is very good for us.
Is part of that agreement to get Ben to come here maybe and, make the presentation himself?
Well, I tried to go shake his hand tomorrow night, or actually tonight, but
Tonight.
that didn't happen.
I see. Thank you.
I have a motion to second, already on the floor. Any more discussion? None here, Mr. Clerk?
All right, since we've got a money issue, we do need to vote this one by our handsets. So if you favor the motion, would you, press yes? If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote for me, please. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, ladies and gentlemen, would you please press confirm for me, please? Everybody press confirm. All right. Mr. Chairman, we have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. Motion carries.
Mr. Chair, that concludes planning.
Thank you, Chairman Atwood. Fiscal Review Committee.
Mr. Chairman, Fiscal Review Committee submits, A, recommends approval for budget amendments to the county general fund in the amount of $55,607, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Commissioner Short.
Sheriff, I wanted to, bring you were here, but you were not sheriff at the time, and I understand that wasn't your budget, but, during the budget process, this line item, and I say this, meaning, the line item that you're referring to is the commissions on the commissary sales, was put into our budget at an amount lower than what we'd actually received last year. So the consequence of that is that you're very right, and Greg's very, very right, that there is money in that line item. Unfortunately, we're at a $4.3 million deficit for the year, and while I'd love for you to have your equipment, and I think it's probably well needed, I'm wondering if there isn't a way to take it within the budget as opposed to going and redefining your budget revenue line item now at a time when we need to hold on to those items as much as possible.
Well, we could try to hold off and put it in next year's budget if that's what you're asking. One of the reasons we're trying to do it now is some of that equipment, in fact, most all the equipment would be emergency needs if it went down, so therefore it'd be coming out of, I guess, other monies, but, it's some equipment that obviously until we got there, we had no idea how to identify that it was broke or needed repair or fixing or replaced.
And I think it's a good thing that you're thinking ahead. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to argue the need of the equipment. I'm just trying to protect our basic budget, until we get a little further into the year and see where it actually is. So if there was a line item that you could pick it up on, I'd be completely in favor of doing this.
I don't think we have the money in our budget now, if that's what you're asking. It would be something we'd have to ask for next year, and the reason we're asking now is if it goes down, then I guess it would come out of fund balance. So we're trying to think ahead and get it somewhere where we know we got it right now.
All right. Thank you.
Commissioner Savage.
A lot along the same lines that Commissioner Short said. I'll point out to the commission, we have written checks for $4.3 million more than we have in our revenue coming in. So we're going to have to go to fund balance to that tune unless we have some changes. This is one of the areas that I talked about last month. This $35,000, if you look at your previous budget on page 3, I know most of y'all don't have it with you, but on page 3, line 131, it gives the history of the commissary, and he's right that there has been growth over the years. We never adjusted that. Probably should have been adjusted, but in the event that, since we haven't, I think we need to keep it the same, because I think we may set a bad precedent by adjusting our revenues this early in the budget, if something happens. So if we give everything they want, and I know everybody wants to, we can't always do that. If we do, we're going to be raising taxes in August. Simple as that. We're gonna take away, the way it's scheduled right now, if everything plays out, we're gonna lose 35% of our fund balance account this year alone that took over 12 years to accumulate. So I'm gonna make an amended motion that we leave 44,131 at $275,000 instead of 310,607. And I so move.
I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to amend the motion.
Repeat your line items again there, Mr. Savage.
It is 44,131 commissary sales
Mm-hmm.
to keep it $275,000.
All right. Thank you, sir. Short, you seconded that. All right.
Any discussion on the amendment? Commissioner Medley? Okay, Mr. Clerk.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to address the amendment first, Mr. Savage's amendment. So if you favor the amendment to the motion, keeping our line item 44,131 commissary sales at the 275 as discussed, then please press yes. If you do not favor that amendment into the motion, then press no. Everybody please vote. Stop right there for me. All right, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change your vote anywhere? All right, ladies and gentlemen, now would you please press confirm for me, please? Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 14 votes no, 10 yes. Motion fails. Now you're back to the motion as stated.
Now we're back to the original motion that was presented by Chairman Martin. Any other discussion? Mr. Clerk?
All right, ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen.
hold on.
Oh,
Commissioner
sorry.
Ebersol.
It was it's a very tough, tight budget, as Commissioner Savage had said, and basically, and I don't doubt that there's a need for this equipment, but the way I see this is making money appear after the budget process has already been decided. I know Commissioner Short during the budget process tried to actually increase the revenues, and it did not move forward. And we need to get some kind of control on this budget. We need to figure out where we can make our costs and live within those budgets that were passed this last budget process. And so I can't support this the way it is right now. And I think we as a commission need to decide where are we going to try to stick to this and have these departments try to find the money within their own budgets for these types of things, or are we just going to continue through the making things disappear? I wish I could have my sales just all of a sudden poof, add to it, you know, but we're not at that point yet. And this is something that we would probably need to have a little bit more time in this budget year to see if that's there. So I can't support this the way it is right now.
Any other discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Seeing none, if you'll take your handsets, if you favor the motion as originally stated, as fiscal review A, please press yes. If you do not favor that motion, vote no. Everyone please vote. Stop right there for me. Mr. Redwine. All right, all votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please press confirm for me now? Everybody please press confirm. Mr. Chairman, we have vote 14 yes, 10 no, 0 absent. Motion carries. Just a second, Mr. Martin. All right, thank you, sir.
Item B B recommends approval for the Sheriff's Department to apply for the following grants. NRA Foundation Grant, $9,000. Another NRA Grant Foundation for $8,000, and I so move.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk?
Favor of the motion, vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone take your handsets and please vote, please. Mr. Savage. All votes in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? Ladies and gentlemen, would you please press confirm for me, please? Everybody press confirm. Mr. Chairman, you have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent, and motion carries.
Yes, sir.
We did.
Unless I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, I think it is.
Ain't no worries.
I made a motion.
Yeah. I got it.
Yep.
Approve the minutes?
No, to agenda.
Motion was never made.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
Approve the
We had
agenda
two
with the
votes.
ads,
We voted
right.
to add,
We
we
had
never
two
approved
motions.
the agenda.
I got it.
We had two.
Positive.
I got it.
We had two.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Second.
We had two.
All right.
One to change one to
I'll-
a change and one to approve.
I'll put that in there. Who seconded that, Mr. Atwood? All right, Mr. Ben. I got it.
Let's do it again. We got a motion
We
and a
got
second
cart
to
before the
approve the
horse.
agenda.
All right.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Good. Thank you very much. All right.
Carry on.
Who's Greg, you said? All right. We got wrapped, get tied on it.
We got it down, sure.
Exactly. Thank you.
Are we ready for item C? Okay. Item C recommends approval for a resolution authorizing the county executive to apply for the 2015 Transportation Alternative Grant to restore the Buffalo Valley Bridge, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
County Exec, Mr. Porter?
we have, Baxter Mayor Jeff Wilhite here tonight. I'd like to let him speak if that'd be okay with the commission. He's the one that actually started this grant project and found out after they got in the middle of it that they couldn't do it, so, I'd like to let him speak if that's okay.
Mayor Wilhite, if you will, just state your name and your position.
Jeff
For the
Wilhite,
record.
Mayor Baxter. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I might need these for this. I just wanted to clear some things up about this and maybe make this a little bit more clear to some of you that might not know what's going on. This is about the railroad bridge at milepost 69.14, they call it. I'm sure everybody's familiar with the old railroad bridge over the Caney Fork River at the Putnam and Smith County line in Buffalo Valley. Well, the town of Baxter, with the help of Nicole Hoos of the Upper Cumberland Development District, just applied for a transportation alternative grant to rehabilitate this bridge. And the newspaper reported that Baxter has been planning to repair this bridge for some time now. And I can assure you that until a few weeks ago, the town of Baxter had never given a thought to being part of the solution to fix this bridge. When I said we had been planning to repair the bridge, I was speaking in terms of our role as members of the Nashville and Eastern Railroad Authority. And now, I'm sure Megan probably wrote what I said, but it was just a misunderstanding and probably my fault on the communication. But to give you a little background on the information about why you're being asked to apply for this grant on behalf of the Rail Authority, let me start by saying that part of it has to do with terribly unfortunate timing. The state of Tennessee was sued for discrimination by the Class I railroads based on the fact that they were being singled out by being charged sales tax on fuel. The Class I's won their lawsuit, and this temporarily did away with the revenue for the Transportation Equity Fund that helped to fund the operations of short lines across the state like the Nashville and Eastern. These short lines, with the help of the Short Line Alliance, lobbied for and got new legislation passed that imposed a fair tax on the short lines. It's the same per gallon tax on fuel that we all pay. At that point, the state started charging the tax. However, the Class I's sued again, claiming discrimination as a result of the new statute. The short lines feel like the Class I's will lose this lawsuit. However, TDOT Commissioner Schroer has put the allocation of transportation equity funds on hold pending the outcome. And this has put the Nashville and Eastern Railroad, which is one of the more successful of about 18 short lines across the state, in a terrible financial strain. And all of this came at a time shortly after a new federal bridge inspection program had been implemented. Even though the authority has an aggressive maintenance program of its approximately 100 miles of track and bridges, which starts at the riverfront across from LP Field and goes all the way to the Crawford Branch just beyond Monterey. And with the financial strain that the authority is currently undergoing, this bridge has fallen into a condition where it's on the verge of being shut down by federal inspectors. Now, I had previously wondered if this old bridge, originally built around 1888 as a drawbridge over the river — it was a drawbridge, believe it or not — then rebuilt in 1907 after a flood a few years earlier, would be eligible for a grant because of its historical value. Then after $130,000 was appropriated by NERC, which is Nashville and Eastern Railroad Corporation, or the operators of the line, they're the ones that actually own the locomotives and the cars, and NERA, the Nashville and Eastern Railroad Authority, which is owned by Putnam County, Smith County, Wilson County, and Davidson County, for the emergency repair of the bridge in the third quarter meeting of the Rail Authority. I'm making this a long sentence, excuse me. The third quarter meeting was held at the Chamber of Commerce, and they voted to appropriate $130,000, $65,000 apiece. 65 coming from NERC, 65 coming from NERA. And that is to put a temporary fix on the bridge to make it pass inspections. At that time, I contacted Tommy Lee of the Upper Cumberland Development District to ask him if there was any money available. He got me in touch with Nicole, who sent me the information about the Transportation Alternatives Grant. I sent this information on to Val Kelly with NERA and Bill Drunzik with NERC, and together everyone thought we should pursue the grant. Originally, we thought that the authority could apply on its own because the application instructions said that governmental agencies could apply. It wasn't until after much time was spent on the application, including some preliminary engineering, cost estimates, and the determination that the bridge would be eligible for consideration for the National Register of Historic Places, that we were told that the application would have to be made by a municipality or county. The application deadline was November the 3rd, and Mr. Porter thought the chances of getting a decision by the county to do it by then were slim, so the town of Baxter decided to apply based on the condition that the 20% grant match and all the other costs involved in the project would be paid by NERA and NERC, and there would be a contract stating that. We made that deadline, but were then notified that since the bridge was on the county line and not in the city limits of Baxter, the signature page of the application would need to be replaced with one signed by Putnam and Smith counties. So that's how we got to this point, and this railroad is very important to Putnam County. Smith County voted last week, a week ago tonight, to sign, and so we're asking that the Putnam County Commission sign this grant.
Any questions? I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Clerk?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you favor the motion, you take your handsets and vote yes. If you do not favor the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote. All votes are in. Anyone wish to change their vote anywhere? All right, now please confirm for me, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody, please confirm. Mr. Chairman, we have 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. That motion carries.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor.
That concludes the system review, committee report.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. Nominating committee.
Nominating committee, we have two items. Item A recommends approval for the following to be reappointed to the Clean Commission Board of Appeals. William T. Smith and Sue Neal for a 3-year term to expire November 2017. I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any nominations from the floor? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B recommends approval that Linda Weston to be appointed to the Animal Control Board, and there are no specific terms, and I so move.
Have a motion and a second. Any nominations from the floor? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, that concludes the nomination committee report.
Thank you, Chairman Martin. Report of special committees. Resolutions.
There are no resolutions, Mr. Chairman.
Election of notaries.
Tiffany Benton, Judy Boone, Tara L. Brooks, Kayla Cantrell, Jenny Conley, Jennifer L. Dunn, Molly Fields, Amy Houston, Angela R. Hunter, Sherry Lee, Michelle Morgan, Brenda Robinson, Darlene Northus, Jessica Ypsifanti. Ypsifanti. I don't write them, I'm just trying to read them. Mercy. Yes.
Do I hear a motion and a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Mr. Clerk?
Notaries, we have to vote. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you please take your handsets in favor of the motion for notaries, please vote yes. If you're not in favor of the motion, vote no. Everyone, please vote for me, please. And just stop right there. All votes are in. Anyone wants to change them anywhere, please now press confirm for me, if you would. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm. Everybody press confirm. Thank you. All right, 24 voting yes, 0 no, 0 absent. Mr. Chairman, that carries. Thank you.
Other new business. Ratification of County Executive Randy Porter's appointments to the E-911 Board as follows: Jerry Mason, Charlie Cobble, Ricky Shelton, Mayor Coble. These are 4-year terms to expire November 2018.
Motion approved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Announcements and statements. Everyone should have a flyer in front of you, the Thanksgiving dinner, Baxter Senior Citizens Center, November 21st, 2014. They will be serving from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can dine in or take out, but I'm sure they will welcome you there. Mr. Porter.
Have an announcement, Mr. Chairman. Y'all had passed the home improvement grant back a few months ago, and we're having a meeting next Monday night here at the courthouse at 6 p.m. If you know anybody that's wanting to apply for that grant, they need to be here at the meeting. That's for that home improvement grant that we got through, that our Covenant Development District supplied for us. And Debbie's coming around. We need to make sure we get those documents back, please.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. I have a couple of thank you cards here. One is from Tony and Sherry Honeycutt. It says, "May God return to you the kindness you have shown to me. Thank you, Tony and Sherry Honeycutt." Commissioner Honeycutt.
I'd like to thank, the commission, on the behalf of the Honeycutt family for the, wreath and all that was sent. We thank that. We thank this most of all for the prayers and the thoughts for the Honeycutt family, because, the old home place does change now. It does. But I do thank you for your prayers. We, all of us kids and all of us really do thank you for the kindness and the prayers, every thought that was, and every prayer that was said. We really do thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Honeycutt. Have another thank you card from Jerry Whitson Elementary School. Dear Putnam County Commissioners, thank you for your willingness to work with everyone involved to ensure Jerry Whitson got a much-needed fence. We appreciate your help, Dr. Terry Anderson. And the other announcement is, I want to wish everyone